Hey guys, Diz here. Are you struggling to get to red maps or maintain the ones you have? In this video, I'm going to walk you through several issues I know people are having. Like how to get from yellow maps to red maps, how to efficiently build your map pool, when to move to the next tier of maps and what level to do which tier, how to roll your maps and things to be wary of when you're new to red maps, and finally Zana, the different mods she offers, when and why to use them. Alright, so we're going to start off with building a map pool. Now, I used to struggle very much getting to red maps and stuff like that, but over time I've learned like what's important, what you want to roll, and a lot of other tricks. So I want to share with you guys exactly what I do to build my map pool. And generally, when you start off with white maps, it's not super important what you roll. You can get up to yellow maps pretty easily just by transmuting, alterating. You don't want to use too much currency on your white maps. And in the start of a league, like early on, now we're talking like first 3 days, a lot of streamers and a lot of high-end mappers will run their maps top down until tier 7, tier 8. And what this means is you'll roll your highest map. So say I'm doing a tier 3 map and I drop a tier 5, I'll do that tier 5 map and hope for a tier 7. They'll sort of build up a pool. It's a bit risky. A lot of people also do bottom up, where you sort of like you build up like 5 or 6 maps of the tier above. I sort of combine these two methods. So what I'll generally do is I'll build up a decent pool. Like this is like first week we're talking here. I'll also explain how you change it later on. First week you'd be like you'd building up. I'll do top down until tier 7 and 8s. I'll build up say 5, 6 tier 7s. Maybe up to 10, and then I'll start doing those. Because once I'm done with the white maps, I kind of don't want to go back to them. They build up around 10 yellow maps and then move on from there. So on your yellow maps, where you want to continue growing up to like tier 11, you want to roll a pack size on every single map you're doing. Every single yellow map, you really want to roll pack size, at least tier 8 and up. Tier 7s are kind of bad, they're not great layouts. Jungle Valley's good, but a lot of people don't like doing the boss. So, pack size is good, and I'll explain why. Like, a lot of people will see 100% item quantity and go, that's amazing. Now, quantity is great, but pack size is basically a multiplier for your quantity. So if this had 0% pack size, I would not run the map, regardless of any other mod on it, even if it was Magic Monsters, which is a great mod to roll, because Magic Monsters can drop +1 maps. However, pack size is insane. It gives you more XP, it puts more mobs in the map that can drop maps, and it also gives you more items. So pack size is be all and end all of mapping from my point of view. And you'll rarely see me roll, like if I'm expecting a return from a map, it's going to have pack size on it. Now once you start progressing into red maps, you really want to start rolling double pack size. So something like this wouldn't be that great. You can get away with it in 12s, but really depends on the rest of your map pool. Generally, you want something like this. Now, this is a great map. It's not a particularly scary map. It's only got vulnerability, so as long as you're not a melee and you are bothered by the physical reflect, then you're pretty okay in it. Beyond is also great because it gives you so much extra experience from the map. So double pack size, definitely something you want to look out for. Now, if you can get like, you can get up to 45-50% pack size. If you're really lucky, that'll all just be curses. So basically, anything that increases pack size are all the rolls that affect the players. So players have elemental equilibrium. Players are cursed by enfeeble. Both of these give pack size to the map. Or players have minus max resistances. Now, generally, especially in red maps, I try to avoid min-max. More of a personal choice, but in my opinion, it just ups the chance that you die by so much. And this, especially the hard things that can kill you with min-max is exiles. If you get Heinvin with his spark, or Igna with her like insane firestorm, if they crit you, I don't care how good your reactions are, the chances are that's gonna kill you is pretty damn big in a min-max. Same with crit. Crit is okay if you have a support, because enfeeble absolutely destroys crit maps. It reduces the way like crit maps do damage in so many ways. So yeah, enfeeble is great, but especially if you're solo, You might have seen a lot of my past deaths have been to crit maps, so I try to avoid at least crit and damage. You really don't want to roll that. But either on their own, like one damage mod or just crit, you can get away with that. A lot of my deaths are to crit though, so again, a personal choice. I'm not too happy doing crit maps. So now that we've covered that pack size is super important, another really important thing to do is building up maps and knowing like at what level you want to do which map. So say you're moving from tier 11s to tier 12s, generally I'll build up at least between 10 to 15 tier 12s before I start doing them. And the levels are pretty important as well. Generally I'll mostly stay in the yellow map bracket until I'm 93 to 94. And even then, I'll still go back and do like tier 10 to tier 11s if my map pool's looking bad. Another thing that is important in maintaining a map pool too is sometimes you will just straight up get unlucky. Sometimes you'll be rolling 40% pack size maps and you'll just be getting shit over by RNG. So buying maps sometimes is important. Generally, I avoid doing that. Like a lot of leagues, I haven't had to do that. But you know, there are instances where just RNG shits all over you. So I'd try to save up 10 of the next tier before moving on, especially for red maps. Once you're in yellow maps, you can do like 5, 6, 7 before moving up a tier. And another thing is that you make most of your currency rolling your yellow maps. Because your yellow maps, you can get away with rolling just one pack size. Whereas in red maps, you've been watching me the past few days, I've been using between anything from 3 to 15 chaos. Getting these like double pack size rolls. And this is where having a build, like I'm currently running Voltaxic Spark, which can run basically any map mods. The only thing I need to watch out for are the damage on the map. Like I have to make sure I'm comfortable running it. So I don't want to have like Vuln, Poison, Crit, and double damage. I'd still roll over that even as Spark. But for example, say I'm running a Cock Discharge or another build that is scared of Reflect. It takes a lot more chaos to roll your map with 20 plus pack size and mods you're comfortable running. So the better your build is at running anything, like Caustic Arrow, a Chaos build, a Trapper, Totems, you have a lot more choice in how easy it is to roll what you want. But going back and selling your maps is very important. Like now, once you go into tier 12s and 12 to 15s, you really want to start selling anything like tier 8, 9, and 10. Particularly open maps are very popular since there's so many Val Sparkers at the moment buying those, like Gorges, Canyon, stuff like that. I'll be including a link to my cheat sheet that I made for explaining maps, what mods are dangerous and or what bosses are dangerous. And I've sort of scaled that after the tier. So a Jungle Valley on my spreadsheet would be a tier 5 danger. Whereas an Abyss is only like, an Abyss compared to it being a tier 15, it's pretty easy. And now mapping in a group as well makes it a lot easier to maintain. Now, say you have like, in my opinion, an ideal mapping group is 4 people. Now this makes it a lot easier to maintain because you can share the Zana cost. And I'll be explaining a little bit more about that in a second. But generally, in red maps, if you're using 5 to 10 C per map, and then putting Onslaught or anything else on your own, that starts piling up real quick. And yeah, like 95 to 100, actually pushing those tier caps, very expensive. Especially tier 14 and 15 maps, they're more like bonus maps. You're not going to be maintaining and only running tier 14 to 15 maps. Even rolling and keeping tier 12s and 13s is very hard and very expensive doing. You're looking at generally in a day of mapping at the moment, I'm using between 2 to 300 chisels and around 200 chaos. That's one day of mapping at the moment. Say 6 to 10 hours of mapping, what I'd spend that on. Now, the Zana mods are, they've been changed slightly this league, so we don't have the classic domination, and ambush has been nerfed compared to what it used to be. So generally what I've been doing on most of my maps is any red maps, and some tier 11s as well, I've been putting Onslaught on. If it's a particularly scary boss, or say I've got like double or triple damage, but I still want to do the map, I'd put Anarchy on it instead of putting Onslaught on. Because Onslaught does actually make a lot of the stuff in, whereas Anarchy only ups it puts 4 exiles in your map, and I find that's quite easy, especially for my build to deal with. If you're not scared of exiles, Anarchy still adds 20% pack size. And that's the beauty of putting Zana on. It's only 13% more than a just putting on the item quantity, but 13% really adds up when you've got pack size coupled in with it. So all of Zana's mods except Nemesis add 20% pack size in. Beyond is where you get the crazy XP. If you're comfortable dealing with Beyond, say you have a crazy damage build, really, really good for XP. A lot of people have been rolling double Beyond lately, so you're getting multiple rare packs, multiple bosses per map. It really adds up on the XP, and it does give the 20% quant. It's a little expensive to maintain. Torment is also great for building a map pool. I found that I really don't like doing that because it's 4C. I'm too lazy to let the ghosts really have their full effect, and sometimes they spawn in bad places. I feel it's a bit wasted. Ambush is really good, but too expensive again. Now, Onslaught adds 20 quantity to the map, doesn't really make it that much harder for me, and as long as it's a boss that I'm comfortable doing, generally that's what I'll add. Anarchy is what I put on for, say I'm doing a conservatory or a palace, and I have a damage mod, or there's already Onslaught on the map, like the haste, then I'll put Anarchy on. It won't add anything to, like, making the boss scary, so you still get the 20 quant, or the 13 extra. And it really does add up. Like, lately I've been maintaining a very strong map pool, and this is after, like, I've been doing tier 12 maps and spamming tier 12 maps for the last 3 or 4 days, and I still have a massive map pool left. That's generally, like, sums it up. I'm gonna add the cheat sheet as well to the comments. TLDR, red maps, they are expensive. If you want to keep running red maps, you have to put the currency in. So I hope this helps some of you. It's different from what some people are doing, but it's working for me. Hopefully some of you will pick up some tips from this. And let me know about some feedback in the comments and if it's working for you. If you have any additional questions, you can come check me out at Twitch TV/PCChild. I stream regularly from 9 a.m. GMT. So yeah, let me know if it helps, guys. Thank you for watching the video.